the heating and cooling, right?
Yeah, and this property I'm not going to. Okay. Because it's got these radiators. I'm assuming the radiators are all fine.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my numbers were a little higher because I did have a furnace, and I don't know why I put AC. That was a
AC. Yeah.
Check.
So AC.
Staked check.
Yeah, that was a reflex check.
That was yeah, it was. Yeah.
I did budget for the furnace, and so on our system we just put furnace, but that's the same thing as the water heater. They're roughly about the same cost, the two. But when you see radiators, what you want to look for is staining around wherever the pipe's coming up. You want to look on the floor for staining, like these hardwood floors. And if there's a water problem, the staining it'll spread out, and you'll see black. It'll look black on these floors. So just look. If it doesn't look like you have a water problem, probably okay. But it's too expensive in some of these houses, unless you're going to gut the house. And this one doesn't need to be gutted. But if you're going to gut it, then you might want to go to a forced air. Right.
How much does it affect compared with like a ARV if you put, determine if you need to get new AC, new furnace?
That depends. Or convert from one type to another.
Like,
let's say you converted this to HVAC.
Yeah.
Or
What's the difference? So it's going to depend on the neighborhood. So some neighborhoods, most of the houses were built with radiators and still have them. Right. Then it's not going to affect it much because that area is accustomed to it. If you have an old house that's got a radiator, but 3/4 of the houses around it are all forced air, that's going to make a big difference. And it could make as much as a 5 to 10% difference in the value of the property. But if it's about a 50-50 mix, it's not usually that big of a difference. So, and typically where you're going to see it is in inner cities. And like there's some areas that you actually lose money if you have forced air. Because they want, like there's areas over in St. Paul and over in Minneapolis where everything has radiators, and that's the character of that old style of house. And now they're $500,000 houses, and you put a forced air system, and now it's a $400,000 house. Because you lost the character of why people wanted to live in that area. Makes no sense to me. But that's just what I know from those areas.
When you're choosing flooring, how do you go about deciding like ceramic versus laminate?